Is there? Yes. Brendan King is going to go back to third. And there's going to be two men behind point, one just in front. Three covering that area. Interesting. Oh, bowls one straight that goes past the outside edge. Interesting plan, this one.
I don't think Glenn Phillips was expecting that line. With that field set, might just be expecting something that's short and wide.
Well, you've got a deep point in 2/3, which is really interesting part of the ground to be protecting. Top left of screen. That will go out to Shimron Hepmeyer, who's out at deep point. Yeah, he played nicely in game 2 to Glenn Phillips. One of those dynamic players that plays spin well, plays pace well. He's got some power for a little guy. Hits all around the wicket. That one went up on top of the roof. Excellent T20 player.
And this is good bowling, despite the field from Odin Smith. Bowl that one full. You wouldn't expect him to bowl full given the field that he has. He has mid-on, mid-off. So expect Glenn Phillips now to try to flat bat him in that region or hit him in front of point through the offside to counter the field that is set.
Nicely bowled. Just the one down to the second, third fielder. Into the 12th over. New Zealand 85 for 3. Akeal Hosein has bowled beautifully today, 2 for 13, his first match of the series. Showing what a good T20 bowler he is. 2 key wickets, Martin Guptill and Devon Conway. Interesting to see how Glenn Phillips and Cam Williamson play, the left-arm spinner here, what their options are. 3 fielders on the leg side on the boundary. Just be a single.
Yeah, he just continues to augment his T20 reputation, Akeal Hosein. Went for 11 runs in the first over, picked up a wicket. And a very economical second over, also picked up a wicket. So each of his 2 previous overs, he picked up a wicket. And that's what he brings to this team, that wicket-taking ability. Something that was sorely missing in the previous 2. And his control so far has been impeccable.
It's good from New Zealand, though. Even on the good deliveries, they're still getting 1. So they're still ticking that scoreboard over. They'll be looking for a boundary opportunity at some stage in the over. I wonder if Phillips might try and go over cover, give himself a little bit of room. Go over that cover fielder if he can. Nicely bowled, nice and tight and straight. They'll look for 2. Hepmeyer's quick from deep mid-wicket, so again, just another single. Good start to the over.
His control is what has made him so successful, Akeal Hosein, and the length that he bowls. A little bit fuller to the right-handers than he would to the left-handers. Because he doesn't want the left-handers to hit over cow corner, over deep mid-wicket.
There's use of the feet. They'll get through for another single. Ooh. It's been good. He's been ahead of the game here, Hosein, knowing what the batters are trying to do. He's been able to keep ahead. His final 2 deliveries are the key to the over now.
And he keeps his eyes on the batsman for a long time, so he sees when they're advancing so that he can pull his length back. Always important as a spinner to look at the batsman as long as you possibly can.
Oh, that's up. It's a miss it that's going to land safe from Phillips. Lucky.
He's trying to manufacture length here, Glenn Phillips. Not as short as he perhaps might have thought. Certainly not short enough for that stroke. But because he's been so good, he's forcing them to try to do something differently. Unfortunately for Phillips, it fell safely. But good pressure being exerted by Hosein.
Flatter and quicker, finishes with a dot. Excellent over from the left arm spinner. 13 gone, 90 for 3. Six bowlers used by the West Indies today, and the difference in those 6 bowlers is that 2 of them are spinners for the first time in this series. And the 3 wickets that have fallen have gone to the 2 spinners on show. Akeal Hosein and Hayden Walsh Jr. has the 1. Alzari Joseph playing his first match of the series. About to start his 3rd over. I think both New Zealanders will be more comfortable with a little bit more pace on the ball.
Hayden Walsh Jr. in that previous game lacked the control that he's been searching for, and hence ended up bowling his most expensive spell in T20 international cricket. And from this pitch map, you can see how erratic he was. Conceded a number of boundaries throughout that 4-over spell, and on both sides of the wicket. Today he's been much better, but you've seen Akeal Hosein and how consistent he's been. Stuff for the leg spinner, having not played too many games in that series against India and coming into this one. Just the last game he played. Need to play consistently and continually to improve and to be consistent and to establish that confidence.
Well, it's gone straight up. Fielder coming in. Put down. Didn't get in quick enough. It was in the air a long time, and the fielder, Akeal Hosein, had the chance to get in a bit quicker. He didn't, and it's gone down.
Yeah, a bit of a misjudgment from Akeal Hosein. He was beckoning to Hayden Walsh Jr. to stay away. It's my catch. But in the end, didn't get in that drop zone quickly enough. Bad bit of misjudgment yet again from the West Indies, and we've seen some diametrically opposed fielding. Brilliance on one occasion and disappointing on the other.
It's hit hard by Phillips into the gap for 4. 2 fielders out there, he splits them both. Picks up a much needed boundary for New Zealand.
Both fielders out in the deep, quite a way in from the boundary. It's a big boundary hitting into the wind, but he's found the gap and he's bisected them perfectly. Insult to injury. Should have been a wicket instead, which resulted in another boundary.
Whenever a catch goes down, the next ball either goes for 4 or 6. Just to add the insult to the bowler. Always happens. What a shot that is from Glenn Phillips. Oh, that's special. That's innovative. That's 6. Back-to-back boundaries. And yes, You should smile. That is a very clever shot.
Brings up the 100 for New Zealand. Have a look at this, folks. Spectacular from Glenn Phillips. Kept his eyes on the ball all the way. What a stroke.
That's a delivery at 140k too. It's not a medium pacer. It's fast bowler. So clever. Ability just to hold his position. Keep his eyes on the ball and then just a wee flick of the bat. That's all it was. Quite unique. And that's why it's hard to bowl in T20 cricket, because batters play 360. You can't have your fielders everywhere. Lovely shot from Phillips. Pulled away, but there is protection at mid-wicket, so that will just be a single to end the 14th over with 14 runs coming from it. New Zealand 104 for 3. Looks like lower scores today on this surface. Currently New Zealand going along at 7.43. They'll want to get up around that 165 mark, so they'll need to go at 10 overs, 10 runs per over for the last 6 if they're to get to that, but they have wickets in hand. I think they should get close to that. Drake's back into the attack. Pace off, good start to the over.
And that's the sort of length that you have to bowl those pace-off deliveries at. New Zealand have bowled generally shorter than the West Indies in this series, so that they've utilized the surface a bit more. It holds on the surface, and therefore hitting that sort of length is more effective.
Williamson uses his feet and out. Finds Akeal Hosein, who holds on to it this time at cover. And the New Zealand captain's on his way. That's a big blow.
Fielder was just placed in that position before that delivery, and he finds him. Kane Williamson looking to go over the top. Didn't connect it as well as he liked. And a bit of a redemption for Akeal Hosein. Williamson goes for 24, 104 for 4.
Daryl Mitchell comes in at number 6 for New Zealand. Played well in game 2 days ago with 48 from just 20 balls. Good strike rate. He's a dangerous player. It's a nice piece of bowling from Dominic Drakes. Again, hit a hard length. Williamson used his feet, tried to go up and over cover, couldn't get the elevation. And it was a good catch by Akeal Hosein, who had just put one down and had the redemption of that catch there. Start to the over by Drakes, pace off, and then picks up a wicket. Not an easy time to come in. 6 overs left.
Was quick to get going in that second game. First ball was a dot, but thereafter he was off and running, Daryl Mitchell. Something that has been very impressive from him.
Starts with a dot again today. I think it's going to be a very tough surface to come in, find the middle of the bat straight away I think it's the sort of surface, Samuel, where you actually have to give yourself 3, 4, 5 deliveries just to try and get used to the slowness of the surface, and that's not always easy.
A change in field, the point goes to short third and deep point on the boundary now.
Play soft, Mitchell underway.
Such an important part of the game, that assessment that you just mentioned there. One inning, you can come in and play almost immediately, get going. Another day, it's quite different. And as a player, you have to be able to determine that imminently.
Yeah, it's a really important part, isn't it? You like that feedback. Generally, it comes from the openers who are out in the middle and they say, look, I think 165 is a good total. When you scored 215 2 days ago, you have to make that adjustment really quickly. Square legs come up inside the circle for Glenn Phillips. There's a deep mid-wicket, a long on, long off, third and cover point. He finds the fielder at cover. This has been an excellent over so far.
Yeah, brilliant so far from Dominic Drakes. West Indies, well, they have a few overs of spin remaining for the last 5 overs. Whether or not they utilize all of them remains to be seen. But it's a different plan this time around from Captain Rovman Powell. Akeal Hosein has been exceptional. Walsh Jr. solid this time around. And between them, they've got 3 overs.
Swung away. It would just be one. That is an exceptional over from Dominic Drakes. A wicket, 2 runs to end the 15th. New Zealand, 106 for 4.
Final over for Akeal Hosein. Switched ends. Pitch map is very instructive, Darren Ganga. When he's bowling well, he hits that good length, almost wicket to wicket more than most.
Yeah, and the other thing is he makes this subtle adjustment depending on the batter that is on strike. That's the smarts behind his bowling as well. Some players have strengths, some have weaknesses. He's well aware of them. I had a chance to speak extensively with Akeal Hosein about his bowling and what has contributed significantly to his success in this format of the game. And he spoke about using the matchups, the information from cricket analytics, and using that to his advantage when he bowls. He knows exactly the strengths and weaknesses of players, and he preys on it.
Quick hands, very quick hands, into the window, not. Glenn Phillips is a monster hitter.
Akeal Hosein knows if you err in this format, you will be punished. That was way down the leg side, too short. Glenn Phillips uses the depth of the crease quite well, which allows him the time to hit the ball behind square, something we've seen from this New Zealand side. That's an uncommon area.
What is it with these New Zealand wicketkeeper batsmen with these quick hands? I think from a wider perspective for me, when I look at T20 cricket around the world, the West Indies have won 2 championships, 2012, 2016, through some unique idiosyncrasies of their power hitting when the Gales, the Russells, the Narines, those were at their best with ball and bat. I think for me, the rest of the world has now caught up with the power in the batting that they're able to generate